Where do you feel landscape photography is heading? Because we go to these places and we find compositions. A lot of people are doing the same things, and we have a
Yes.
lot of people these days who are into landscape photography. And sometimes I get the feeling like, what a new value are we contributing to this art? So, what are your thoughts about like where we are heading as a landscape photography community?
Right. Yeah. I think over the for 5, 6 years I've done this, I think the popularity of the genre is also growing. And many more people are starting to get into it, and also people are trying to learn techniques and improve and actually, get into the creative pursuit of this genre. So I think when you're starting out, you basically are trying to do or trying to emulate what your idols are doing. Some photographers you might like, follow, and lots of people start out there. I also started out doing the same thing. Basically, my goal was, if I go to a place, I should be able to at least convey the experience of that place in a few photographs that I take there. And I think people of our age group are kind of doing one thing. So it's like, slightly older folks who are getting into this genre are following one type of photography. We're doing one type of photography, and there is also a younger generation of photographers who's coming in. We have to see what kind of new artwork that they could come up with, or like new art form that they could come up with. But in our generation, I'm seeing a lot of people are moving away from these bigger, wide vistas to more intimate scenes. I think we're basically we're taking the same route like as an artist does. Basically, you start out with more realistic looking stuff, and then you start going into more impressionist style of work, where you're trying to convey some message through a more abstract looking piece of art. So instead of trying to explain or trying to show what a place looks like, you're trying to convey a deeper message through a more intimate shot, which may not necessarily tell you where it was taken, but it will try to convey some sort of theme, or will try to create just visually interesting stuff as well. Doesn't necessarily have to tell a story, but could be a very visually interesting composition or subject. So I think that is where I see things are moving, at least in the short term. So we are going from more realistic, wider vistas to more impressionist kind of work in this genre of photography. And I have seen this happen in almost every field of art. So you start out with a very rudimentary type of art. So you're basically just trying to copy the real world. Then try to keep improving on it, try to make it look as realistic, as grand, as dramatic as possible. And then you slowly start going into a more abstract form of the same art. So you start introducing your own um, your own style into it, and also try to narrow down, or like cut down how many things you have in your shot. And then eventually, when you do it enough, you probably kind of end up with a more impressionist style of artwork, where you're trying to just make um, compositions with shapes, textures, colors, light, rather than trying to photograph big wide scenes. And that seems to happen to many artists who use the visual medium. And I
Mm-hmm.
think there is a place for all different types of art. So that there are a lot of photographers who just enjoy wide vistas, including me. I enjoy shooting complex scenes with interesting light and a lot of depth to them. I personally enjoy that because that is what got me into photography. I had a big landscape painting. I had a couple of very large landscape photographs hung in my house when I was growing up. One was in the Swiss Alps, another one was from Hawaii, and I just looked at those photos every single day, and they made me feel like, oh, I want to go to this place. I want to experience these mountains and walk in the snow, and just jump from this uh, big. So there was basically like a big wooden cottage in it, and jump from there into the snow and stuff like that. I always used to feel like photographs like this can inspire you to travel, get out of your house, and just try to experience these new things. And I think just having that thing at the back of my mind has also pushed me towards where I am right now. I'm able to at least afford traveling and going and seeing these places. When I was younger, I don't think I would have even imagined that I'll be able to afford to go to Switzerland, or these fancy places like Iceland, New Zealand, Patagonia, and stuff like that. I wouldn't have imagined. I haven't been there so far, but I can at least imagine doing that now, and eventually make that happen. So I feel um photography is going in multiple different directions. It depends on who you're looking at. There are people who are doing incredible work in terms of wide vistas and just exploring new places and showing people new worlds that they haven't seen before, like Mark Adamus. People like him go to the remotest corners of the world and shoot wide vistas, and I think it is necessary for somebody to shoot these wide vistas, because unless people see it, people will not be willing to go and explore things. And there is also, from an artistic point of view, for creators who have done a lot of this, they want to explore other stuff. They are going towards more of this impressionist style of work to kind of probably differentiate themselves from this crowd of photographers who is doing the same wide stuff. And it's also become really difficult to stand out in this world of Instagram, because you can obviously combine multiple images to make your shots look incredible, and it's genuinely very, very hard to stand out in that field now, because just the sheer amount of competition. So people are trying to find ways to stand apart, and that is giving rise to new genres of photography, and I think that is good in its way. And we will see more and more different styles of photography come out of this. Another thing I really enjoy is just not so photography is very new. I mean, it's not even I mean, earlier we used to consider it as a media of documenting things, so important events, new places, stuff like that. Now it has become ubiquitous enough that people are actually thinking of it as more of a creative medium. You don't necessarily have to just make photographs in your camera. You can do very creative things in Photoshop with the images you have taken. So there are artists that do just graphic art with the photographs that they take. So they do take photographs but use that as a resource for the graphic art. And I really enjoy that aspect of photography as well, because it basically gives you, so not everybody can paint. People like me cannot just pick up a graphic tablet and paint some incredible scenes. So we have to use our photographic resources to as a base, and only then we can create these fantastical or fantasy landscapes and images. So I think I also see things going in that direction. So people like Kat Simard, who does a lot of composite work, they create just some incredible type of work. There is just so much depth to it. You, as soon as you lay your eyes on it, you feel like, oh wow, what a beautiful place, I would love to experience this. And so I feel that we are pushing boundaries in every direction, not just one way or the other. And the more and more people get into this field, the farther we will push the boundaries. And it's not just the senior people who are pushing boundaries. There are some new people who come in, and right out of the bat, they're very young. They have had different type of upbringing compared to us, different experiences. They have grown up in a very modern age of this computer with Instagram on their hand. They've seen a lot of creative stuff from the get-go, and these people are creating even better, no, not better, but I don't know if you can categorize work art as better or worse.
I mean,
But
they have a
just,
beginner's mind also, so they have a fresh perspective of things,
right,
right?
yeah, they have yes, correct. So they're just able to do some incredible work that we have never seen before. So lots of things happening, and it's very hard to predict where the direction is going. What one thing I can definitely talk about is the camera equipment is getting better, and it will just become more and more ubiquitous. Eventually, every person on this planet will be able to have some camera of some sort, and then it will be up to us how to make your work contribute and stand out. Um, in the broader scheme of things, are we helping the world by taking pictures? I don't know. We are definitely creating a lot of carbon footprint by traveling to these incredible places and trying to get these experiences, buying flight tickets, flying thousands of miles from one place to another. There is some moral dilemma there for myself. Uh, Even if people see my pictures and get affected to save the environment, is the effect going to be enough to actually offset what carbon footprint I'm generating by my work? I do not know. Um, and yeah, I mean, slowly I'm beginning to realize that I think my goal should be to create more and more work from my local landscapes so that I'm not affecting the environment in a bad way. Just flying to every country that there is in the world to get photographs is not probably the right thing to do for the environment which I'm trying to save, or at least all of us are trying to save. We want to preserve it for the future generations, and if we just keep taking flights to go to these fancy places, we are putting out so much carbon for no good reason besides just taking some photographs. It I mean, at least for us, we're not professional photographers. We should really try to evaluate whether a trip is worth the amount of carbon we are going to burn. Getting an experience on a personal level is one thing, and trying to get photographs just for the sake of it, just going there, just increasing your portfolio, just so that you have epic photographs of some Patagonian mountains, or some beautiful forests of New Zealand. Yeah, you should ask yourself, is it worth it? Do you really want to put out 2 tons of carbon dioxide in the environment just so that you could get some photographs? Is it something that really matters to you? If it does, then yeah, sure, go for it.
There was a program on NPR yesterday that I was listening to on travel, and there was somebody who called in and asked about carbon footprint and how do people, when they travel, do they even consider what their footprint is? But the thing is, I wonder how many people actually think about these things. I think in general we are many. We are selfish. We want our own portfolios to build up, and
Right.
so I don't know if this is something that I think it should come from an individual level, but I don't know how it's going to happen.
I think just as a general trend, we should, as a community, try to get away from trying to seek these epic scenes, because the more and more big professional photographers try to do it, people like us also want to do it, and then people who are just getting started also eventually want to do it. So everybody wants to travel to these fancy places, and what we are ending up doing is we are destroying the planet just by getting more people to travel, and plus these places directly get affected because of increasing number of tourists, and not every government is taking precautions to keep these places safe. So
but then also there's another issue as well, like we are in California, and we have a lot of places to shoot here locally. Right. Somebody who's not here, they might not have the same opportunities also, right?
Yes. Yeah, there is definitely no black and white solution here. There is always going to be shades of gray. Because we have so many opportunities here to shoot, we can say that, just stay at home, stay local, shoot local. But yeah, I was in Georgia before this, in Atlanta for some time, and it is really hard to photograph things there. There is a lot of forest scenes, but not a whole lot of mountains and stuff. So if you really want to photograph mountains someday, you have to drive away to Smokies or something, and you have to travel. You cannot really help it. And the same thing was true in India as well. So it is you have to travel a little bit away from where you stay to see these nice things. And I think everybody should travel, everybody should experience these things, but you should see which trips are really important, which things you really want to prioritize and experience, and then try to cut down on things which are probably not of utmost necessity. So like, go. Yeah. So yeah, some of us have to think about it. The more people think about it, the bigger impact it will have. Definitely something that we should try to promote. I don't think anybody talks about this. Very few people do, if at all. I have not heard people talk about this at all. So yeah, just because Mark Adamus is traveling to these big places, that doesn't mean all of us have to. We can experience the places through his work, probably support him to do it. And if you are going to travel, try to stay as clean as possible. Try not to litter, try not to throw things around, don't move rocks. Don't try to disturb your foregrounds. Don't rip out plants because they're standing out in your shots. Just leave the place as you found it. Try to be as sustainable as possible. Don't buy plastic water bottles if you can. Take your own containers and stuff like that. So basically, do whatever in your power to reduce your footprint. Try to reduce your travel as much as you can.
Right.
And yeah, that's all.
I mean, the other side of this is, I think when you do travel and when you go to some of these, beautiful places, you do get a sense of appreciation for nature, and it can inspire you to also be more responsible.
Yes, for sure.
Which you might not have been inspired if you didn't go to those places. So that's, I guess, the flip side of that. Also, the other thing is, I noticed when you book flights, there are some flights that they now list the carbon footprint.
CO2,
I don't know how reliable those numbers are, but I did notice them. Talking about composing these kinds of epic landscapes and all that. How do you balance what you want as an artist with what people are responding to, like on social media? When it comes to like color grading, when it comes to the kinds of landscapes that you shoot, people want to see iconic places and all of that, but from an aspect of finding unique compositions that might not be iconic, how do you balance what you want as an artist with what others are expecting from you?
Right. Okay. So I personally try not to basically try to not get influenced by what people are expecting off of me. Obviously the quality of work is expected, so I do try to put in the time and try to produce certain quality of images, but the actual imagery in those images is not always something that would that people might appreciate in so basically the problem with Instagram is you have split a second to see an image or like it or dislike it and just move on, and not all of the images can have that kind of impact. And if you try to have that kind of impact in your images, you basically end up typecasting your work into a particular genre. So I try to edit an image. So I don't know if this makes sense, but I do like watching documentaries and stuff about other forms of art. And one thing that always comes to my mind anytime I think about this is how Michelangelo used to carve his sculptures. So he used to carve marble sculptures, and he used to start from one single piece of rock, one huge monolithic piece of marble, and used to carve it. And he used to say that basically the rock guides him how to sculpt the statue. So the rock naturally tells you how to carve it, and that is obviously wasn't the case for everybody else, because people used to basically make molds of the statue, or basically create clay sculptures first, and then used to try to replicate that in marble. But Michelangelo basically just used to take this big piece of rock. he had his ideas. He used to sketch up things. Obviously, he must have to do a lot of math before he did all of this, but he directly used to work on the rock. And I kind of try to do the same thing. So I see an image, I stare at it for a long time. I see where the light is coming from, what the image is trying to dictate, how it wants to guide your eye through the scene. If you are composing it well in the scene, there should already be some sort of flow to the image. Obviously, not everything works out because of you might be time blending stuff, or if you're shooting Milky Way or something, things may not always line up, things may not flow as well every time. But you at least have an idea of what kind of motion you want through your scene. So I try to let that dictate how I edit the scene, and then I keep building on top of it. So basically trying to eliminate any distractions that are in the scene and trying to enhance anything that I like in the image. And then I just basically keep subtracting distractions, keep adding emphasis on the light, the mood, the experience, atmosphere, everything. And I process images in small chunks. So I will process an image for half an hour a day, and then keep processing it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Just leave an image to sit for a couple of weeks between edits, because sometimes I feel like an image is not working, and then I will just let it go for a few weeks and then come back to it and see how I feel about it. Sometimes it just gives me a quick spark of how I want to change things in it and what can help make it better. Or I might realize that this image is not going to work, and then I just let it go. But I don't try to ever try to edit my images for Instagram and stuff. Some images I know will work well on Instagram, because the moment you look at it, okay, this composition is made for Instagram. It's not like I'm averse to shooting stuff like that. Sometimes I also want to have nice big flowers in the foreground, nice wide vista, and colors in the background, stuff like that. I also enjoy shooting stuff like that, but I don't ever try to cater it to a particular audience. I just edit it however I like. And sometimes people like it, many times people don't like it. Half the work I edit I don't publish on Instagram, especially because it's I do shoot like a lot of panoramas and stuff, and they anyway don't work. My goal is to just basically process the image to its best capability, to my best capability, and to where I feel the image should be. And then if people like it, good. If people don't like it, it just goes on my website, and it's okay, it's fine, not a problem. It obviously feels bad if some image that you really liked is just not perceived very well by anybody, but it's okay. I mean, you still put in your effort, and I am totally okay with failures. I'm just really okay with failures. I think is probably a bad thing, good thing, I don't know. But I'm okay with failing and stuff like this. It's okay. I can just move on to the next image, not think about whatever has happened.
What about people on Instagram? They're expecting more saturated colors, would you say?
Yeah, people. So it also depends on what audience you have built up. I think my audience really likes rich colors, wide vistas, interesting light. I think these are the three things that they're looking for in my images. I'm sure, like, based on what kind of audience you have built up, the expectations change. But yeah, for sure, I feel one good light source, very strong vignette, and popping colors is what people really like on Instagram. That is what seems to be that is what seems to catch people's attention quickly. I think the goal to any successful image on Instagram is that it should be able to catch your attention quickly. Like the instant you look at it, it should look good. I have seen so many people's work that is catered to Instagram, which looks amazing when you look at it for the first shot. But if you spend any more than 10-15 seconds looking at it, you realize that it's been quickly edited. You have not put in a lot of thought into it. And I think it's fine. No, not everybody has the kind of time or the patience to do very fine editing, and it doesn't really help anybody unless they're going to print it. So if you're shooting every day, all day, every day, if you're a professional photographer, you just don't have so much time to process these images to their full limit. So people just do quick and dirty edits for Instagram. If something really becomes popular, then they might go back and do like a great like a good fine edit on that for prints and stuff.
In Instagram, people want that instant. You want to grab their attention instantly, but then sometimes a good piece of artwork grows on you slowly.
Yes.
Right. That's kind of the opposite sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, I think that, and you have to draw the line. You have to see whether you want the artwork to be Instagram friendly or whether do you want it to be print friendly. That there is definitely some difference there. But if it's a good photo, it will look good on all media. That is definitely true. But the level of detail and work you put into it is vastly different if you're editing something for print versus if you're editing something for Instagram. The amount of effort that goes into it is quite different. And I would like to believe that I process all of my work for print, all of it, because at least worst case scenario, I can make it into a wallpaper or something if nobody buys a print. But I feel that I'm anyway putting out such I don't produce a lot of photographs, to be honest. So if I'm putting out very limited amount of work, it might as well be of good quality. I'm not putting out new photographs every week or something. I probably produce something once every month, or at least like maybe 15 days. So I'm at least trying to put in some quality in there so that if I'm going back and looking at them, I feel good about my work and not feel like, oh, I should have edited this better or something like that. Yeah.
You brought up the point that you built up a certain type of audience on Instagram. Yeah. Could you share a little bit about how you went about that? Like, how do I build a particular type of audience?
I think what I have done is just be myself. I just put out the kind of work that I like. Sometimes people enjoy it, sometimes people don't, and people will unfollow me when they don't enjoy my work, and that's how you cut out on all the fluff. So I think you basically just keep doing whatever you're doing, and if people really like you for who you are and what you're doing, then they will keep following you, and whoever doesn't will just unfollow. And I think that is completely fine, and you don't have to worry about trying to keep people around, because if they don't enjoy your work, they don't necessarily have to follow you. I mean, it is social media after all. You get to choose what you want to have on your feed. And I don't put too much emphasis on it. I have genuinely starting to get like completely bored of Instagram now. There's not a lot of real engagement left. I'm only there because I have friends on there. Right. If all my friends move to Slack, I'll go to Slack. If all my friends move to Telegram or something, I'll go to Telegram. I don't care what media it is. I do have some really good patrons on Instagram who are like always very encouraging and keep telling you good things. And I think that is also required, because if you're just creating your media in the dark and nobody's getting to see your work, you probably may not improve as fast as you would like. It's the same as an actor, right? Actor wants somebody to see their acting. I mean, you can act in your own bedroom in front of the mirror, but it will only take you so far, and your own personal gratification will also not come. So Instagram provides me some form of that, where people come and appreciate, and I know that whatever I post on Instagram, there'll be some people who will tell me, oh yeah, it's good, or you could have improved it here, improved it there, and stuff like that. And it's okay. I mean, it's like a small community of people, and definitely for new people who are coming in, I think Instagram's photograph days are kind of already behind it. They are trying to focus more on reels, and reels game I do not get, to be honest. Reels also has the same idea. You basically have to attract people's attention in the first few seconds, otherwise you're out. So
wait for it are like the three most popular words now on Instagram. Wait for it.
Yes. Because you have to hold people on that reel for at least 3 seconds for the drama to show up. I very recently put in some time to learn how to edit video, and then made some reel. I put it out, and it was 20 seconds long, not super long, but I think even that was too long for reels, and even that didn't do well. My lowest effort reels do the best, where I take 20 seconds to make the reel. I just turn my photographs, a panorama or something, into a video and just post it with some music, and those reels are the ones that do the best. And I think I'm just gonna stick to that now.
What do
I
you
don't
use
have the
to
time.
make those videos?
There's just an app called Panoramaker. It will just take your any size panorama, you split it into some form of grid, and then you can just export it as a video. It's just like very low effort thing, and I genuinely don't have time to figure out the Instagram algorithm as it keeps changing on you. So it's fine if people like it. It's fine. I'm pretty sure Instagram is, at least my Instagram is going to die out pretty soon. It will just get old and forgotten eventually.